Doug Ellin, creator of one of my favorite shows, Entourage, is in studio. Victory, the podcast, also Doug's baby. And done a bunch of movies, TV shows, and stand-up as well.
I started as a stand-up. I mean, not much success, but a little bit.
You came out here from the East Coast to do stand-up?
I graduated Tulane in New Orleans, and I really didn't know what I was doing.
You started on the East Coast, went to Tulane, and then came here.
I grew up in New York, went to Tulane. The day I graduated, I came here. Yeah.
Tulane... Now, let's see. What do I know about Tulane? A lot of Jews at Tulane, right?
Tulane, they would call it a lot of times.
How do you affect it? It's in Louisiana.
It's
is it
in
near
New Orleans.
New Orleans?
It's
it
like,
seems weird to me.
You know what? I think it was like a place, my parents, I said I wanted to go to UCLA, and my mother told me I was not going to California because she said I'd never come back, which is what happened years later.
Interesting.
But I think New Orleans kind of had that cultural thing and was different, and we could go and for the first time in our lives, get called by Nazis a Jew and things like that. So it was a great experience, though.
Yeah, I was thinking about Jews on the way in because I'm a huge fan of the Jews.
I like that. That's good. Not all of them. I got a lot of Jews I hate. So I never like the group. There's a bad groups. You got good ones and you got bad ones.
All right, but I don't want to couch. Here's what I don't like. I don't like when we're talking in sort of broad terms, and you go the biggest trouble facing the black community is the lack of fathers, and then someone goes, I know a black girl who grew up without her dad, and she went to Stanford, and she's on the Supreme. And I go, okay, all right, there's a bad version. I'm just saying, I'm all about just statistically
and I agree.
Where I'm at.
I agree. And I think the Jews as a whole, we should be celebrated instead of attacked.
I mean, look, it's the same with if I would not want my young toddler around a pit bull. I know a pit bull. Yeah, okay, you know a pit bull. I know a lab. Shut the fuck up. I got which way the wind was blowing with the Jews early and often. I have a family of godless goyim. Losers. not even a traditional alcoholic, drug abusing, physical, sexual abuse, just flat fucking liner losers. Okay. I had one Jewish grandfather who's a step-grandfather, not blood, just came into the family. Old school Hungarian Jew. That guy cooked. That guy made sandwiches. That guy hugged you. That guy he was the only sane person in this family. Yeah. And that's when I started to know there was a little difference between the Goyim and the Jews.
Well, I can't, I don't want to talk about the Goyim, but for my Jewish family, we had a great family who obviously we all have issues, but were teaching us values about everything and about inclusiveness to not to the extreme that I saw come today, but to really be a good person.
And I look at the Middle East as one big shitty ashtray with one little bastion of sanity in there, and that's Israel. And then everyone goes, what Israel? I'm like, I don't know. I don't know what Israel. I know what their culture is like versus all the cultures that surround them. And so I am pro-Israel because maybe Israel's not so great, and maybe everything else around them is a colossal piece of shit. Yeah. So I'll just do the math, and I'll cast my vote with Israel.
But it's also, you may not like Netanyahu's government at this particular moment, okay? Just like a lot of people don't like Trump's, a lot of people didn't like Biden's, Obama's, whatever the case is. But you just don't blame, an entire society.
Where would you live? Would you rather live in America with Trump at the helm? Would you rather live in Israel with Netanyahu at the helm? And the answer is fucking yes. So now we can shut up and move on.
Agreed.
So, what I was thinking about, though, when I was driving here, I was like, it's a weird thing because Jews, not only internationally, of course, and historically, but also currently, have to deal with people wanting to exterminate them. But then Jews here, with the college campus situations that were going on recently, with the onslaught of non-Jew hating Jew haters who are running for office, who are, Islamic, they have situations and stuff to deal with. But all talk here is always on the black community and about how they're being. Sonny Hostin thinks she's being oppressed.
Yeah.
She's not. Yeah. Their doors are being open. You go to a college campus, they're going after the Jews. The blacks, they're letting in with a lower SAT score. So, and also, what if Graham Plattner had KKK tattoo versus a Nazi tattoo?
He'd be done.
He'd be done. And the Democratic Party can't even have Shapiro running as a vice president because they hate Jews so much on college campuses and all the free Palestine.
They couldn't have Buttigieg either, though, because he was gay. So the inclusive party, they don't like gays, Jews, or a lot of other people either. But.
Right. I have no idea. The Jews, when you step back, and here's all I do. I just go, I'm going to step back and get like a bird's eye view of everything. You go, what are our problems? And I mean, and look, when you're rebuilding a car or a house, you have to step back and go, what's the problem? And if the problem is rust everywhere, that's one thing. And if the problem is the cigarette lighter doesn't work, that's another problem.
Yeah.
My thing is let's go with the big stuff. And when I look at the world and you go, Jews, where do they rank? And part of the problem, I go, they're not on my top 1,000. So I got a million other things I want to work on, and then maybe we'll have time for the Jews.
It's a sad reality when a society starts to turn on. And again, I don't want to sit here, we're oppressed, or I walk down the street in fear. I'm not a religious Jew, and I don't dress like a religious Jew. But I do now walk down streets of Los Angeles, see a Jewish guy wearing a yarmulke, and I actually go, I get a little worried that I may have to jump in something right now that obviously is not something I want to be doing. But
no, it's pretty much, they're the side that claims to be loving and pacifist and so on and so forth. You put a Trump bumper sticker on your car, it's going to get keyed.
Yeah.
You put a Biden-Harris one on your car, no problemo. You put a Trump lawn sign, your house may be egged. You put the Trump-Harris or nobody's illegal or we believe in science or other bullshit pro-LGBT. You're not going to have any problems. You walk up and down the street dressed as a Hasidic Jew, you may get hit from behind. You wear your Trump, you wear your gay flag gauchos, no problemo. If those don't exist, somebody should invent gay flag gauchos. So the group that's the loving passive who believes in science and nobody's illegal group are the ones more likely to egg your house, key your car, or punch you in the back of the head.
Look, they've made, and I don't want to get into a discussion about the Israeli government or whatever, but they've now made Israel the biggest issue that exists on the planet Earth. I mean,
there's the reflecting pool and Israel.
There's millions of people dying in Russia and Ukraine. Russia is grabbing kids off the street, throwing them on the front line and letting them die, and nobody talks about them. And also, nobody wants to kill Russians, just random Russians. They don't yell about it. But I was literally playing pickleball in Santa Monica last week, and a guy is outside screaming, "Kill the Jews!" He's just I know he's a lunatic, but it's even spreading to the lunatic homeless population that they can get this propaganda to them. So it is a scary time.
I think it's part and parcel of what they're selling. Which is what the left is selling is anybody who's more successful than you must have done it off of your back or the back of the indigenous people or whatever. So what they're constantly selling is the only reason this guy has stuff, Elon Musk is a trillionaire because he rips everyone off, and everyone who's successful has stuff because they oppress the people. So we're now really headlong into this who's got stuff and who doesn't have stuff, and it must have been daddy's money. They must have oppressed some other group and whatever. So now you go to the Jews, and the Jews are just by and large successful, and they're successful because they're into family and education, which other groups are not into. And if you get into family and education, you will be successful as a group, certainly in the United States. So the Jews now have more accumulated wealth, average income, whatever metric you measure success in. Jews are doing better than the average black, Hispanic, or white family. And in a world where Bernie Sanders never stops ringing that bell of that guy's got more than you and you got to go, well, then Jews are right there in everyone's crosshairs. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Yeah. Well, what business are they in? They're in the business of keeping your car on the road. Not many car issues I can't figure out. But if I'm stumped, I'll call O'Reilly immediately. They've got thousands of parts in stock, either in store or online, so you never have to worry if you're in a jam. They'll also test your battery for free, and if it needs to be replaced, they will help you find the right one, whether you're a car aficionado or an auto novice. You'll see the employees at O'Reilly Auto Parts are helpful and friendly. O'Reilly, it's your one-stop shop for all things automotive. Do it yourself. It's O'Reilly, right, Dawson?
Stop by O'Reilly Auto Parts today or visit us at O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam. That's O'ReillyAuto.com/Adam.
Simply Safe. 2 eyes in there. In the U.S., there's a break-in every 26 seconds, and that means somewhere right now, an intruder is getting closer to your home. Most security systems only alert you after the break-in has already started, and by then, it's too late. That's why I chose Simply Safe to secure my home. Oh, man, I've been with these guys for a long time. They're a great company. They have an interesting backstory. I'll explain it in another episode. But anyway, using the Outdoor Camera Series 2 and advanced AI, well, they alert you, and they'll alert Simply Safe. And their U.S.-based live agents identify threats on your property and help deter them. That's right. So they're not in your entry hall. This stops the crime before it starts. Listen, I live in Psycho, L.A., so Simply Safe has given me a lot more peace of mind. With everything going on, I sleep a little better at night, knowing Simply Safe's got my back. It's Simply Safe, right, Dawson?
We want you to experience the same peace of mind we do, which is why we partnered with Simply Safe to offer an exclusive discount to our listeners. Right now, you can get 50% off your new system by visiting simplysafe.com/Adam. That's half off at simplysafe.com/Adam. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
Yeah. I mean, look, they're going to start a class warfare. And, it's not that I don't think there's a problem with wealth gap in this country and the world. But I don't think the government's going to solve it, number one, and what they're doing every single day. And I'm watching. I've just become obsessed with this Ro Khanna guy who just is literally like, let's just take Elon Musk shit and give it to everybody. And, these are the same people that 7 years ago, they got me to buy a fucking Tesla because they told me I was changing the world by buying it. And then the next thing I know, the same Tesla, because I kept it for a long time, is like being, thrown at, keyed at, and everybody's yelling at me. So, these people, I think, and I don't want to just say it's one side, because it is both sides. People want power, and they'll say what they have to win, and they're seeing that this is a winning argument now, and they're going down the road. And when you have guys with $200 million from their wives, by the way, which is Ro Khanna's money is where it comes from.
Yeah.
But when he's sitting there going, let's just take Elon Musk's money and we can pay for school for everybody. None of that stuff is working, and the schools aren't getting better with all the money that we're spending. So it's just very frustrating.
Yeah, they're trying to draw some line all the time between spending and success, and I'm not going to draw that line with them because the states and the cities that spend more are often less successful than the ones that spend less, number one. Number two, you really think about it, school, historically, there was no tablets or laptops. There was no technology. You just needed discipline and will, and you could read by candlelight, back in the day. I don't know why there's this straight line between how much you pay per student and how much success they have. And if you look at the chart, there isn't. Now, they have more bureaucrats and more people in offices and more school administration. The administration keeps growing. Yeah. The union keeps growing. The test scores don't get any better, and they don't add teachers. So
that's just the system. They just keep giving their friends jobs, and they keep making more money.
But this notion, Ro Khanna's funny. Liz Warren's funny. Bernie Sanders is funny. They go, first off, they do this calculus thing where they go, if Elon Musk would just give us 10 or 5% of his wealth, we could have universal health care. We could have universal pre-K, blah, blah, blah. We have universal child care. And I'm like, well, we could if Elon spent the money himself on that shit. But if he gives it to you retards, we're not getting any of that. No. We're going to get more Leering centers. We're getting nothing. What makes you think I think you're a good steward of this shit?
Well, I can't even get into the debate because we know they're not. We know what's happening in California. We know how much money is going into taxes. And by the way, I just left, a friend of mine who's worked in this business for 25 years and is having a hard time getting work now. Mm-hmm. And I was just talking to her about what she voted for, and she voted to raise the sales tax. And I said, I don't understand. And she cannot explain it except for the very simple thing. She walks into the booth, she reads a thing that says it's going to help this one, and that one, and she votes. And I go, who do you think that's hurting more, you or the rich politician that is getting you to vote for it? And she knows it, but she's still, and that's the problem. They prey on that, and they prey on your empathy, and then you end up with a situation that doesn't help anybody. So,
well, I think there's a period. I think we're in a period now where there's a lot of people in this town who just vote Democrat straight across the board. Mm-hmm. And they think they're voting for Bill Clinton and whatever ideals he had. Yeah. They think they're voting for Tom Bradley, who was a black Democrat who ran the city as mayor for like 25 years. They think they're voting for some old version of a Democrat. They think they're voting for, even old school Joe Biden, who is like, you can't come to this country illegally. We can't afford to pay for your welfare and your whatever. They think they're voting for Democrats from 1993. Yeah. They don't know that they're voting for radical socialists who want to strip everything away from everyone and give it to illegals.
I don't know, because you see so much on TV pushing this narrative. I am finding that there are people who are really moving towards this socialism idea. They're starting to say things that make me think they believe it. And, I was just talking about this with someone, but it's like Fareed Zakaria just came on CNN and trashed California.
Right.
And it's like, all of a sudden, there's like an awakening on this radical left side that goes, wait, CNN is now saying it. Maybe there is something to it, which was the same thing that they did with the border. Right. There was no border problem, and then all of a sudden, some Democrats said, well, now we do know now that the election's coming that there is a border problem, and then people wake up. But what I'm seeing from a lot of friends is just the belief that this is normal to allow anyone into the country, and if you don't believe that, you're a racist or you're a bigot. And, I hate to even say it because, last week, how I ended up here is because last week I posted a video, or 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, whatever, we need a change in California, and I think that we got to try Spencer Pratt. And I want to be crystal clear. I'm not sitting here saying I know whether Spencer Pratt can do anything. What I do know is what Karen Bass has done for the last 4 years. And what I do know is that Raman scares the hell out of me with all of her crazy ideas.
Raman. Yeah, look, I said it this way because it's also a weird thing when people go, you think Spencer Pratt, former reality show? I go, listen, I have two quarterbacks who've combined wins or 3 against 141 losses in the league, and then I got a rookie over there on the bench who came straight here from junior college who seems eager to get in the game. And they go, that guy doesn't have any experience in the NFL? I go, yeah, but these guys do, and I've seen what they do.
They just lose.
And all they do is throw pick sixes. Yeah. So, yes, I'll go with the unknown. So you're saying this unknown is a great quarterback. I go, no. I'm saying they're horrible quarterbacks, and I will go with an unknown over horrible.
I was just saying he's talking about the things that the people that I really care about and know about are worried about in this town. And, they were telling us up to 4 months ago that people weren't even leaving California, that we were making this up. And I can't tell you that I have more people who have left Los Angeles in the last 2 years than in the previous 30 that I've been here.
Yes.
And every time I'm at a party, people are like, because I lived in Nashville for 6 months to try it out to see if I wanted to permanently leave here because I have a young child now and I really want her to be raised in a place that I feel comfortable and safe with. And every place I go now, people are like, how is Nashville? Because I'm thinking about Nashville,
right?
Scottsdale, Texas, you know?
Yeah, I will put it to you this way, as somebody who's from here. There is no such thing as anyone moving out of California, and especially Los Angeles, formally, until recently.
Yeah.
Now, there were two exceptions. There was my dad's corporate office got moved to Houston, and we have to move to Houston. We're all miserable. Yeah. But there's somebody moved because of work.
What was the second?
The second was, fuck it. I'm going to Jamaica and I'm opening a dive shop. like there was some weird outlier cashed in.
Or the failed Hollywood guy. Because that's what it used to be. When I first got out here, lots of people
train
came out
to Georgia.
They didn't even try, you know, they went out every night and partied.
But nobody moved from LA or California.
Yeah.
The other scary answer is in the past, if someone was moving, they just go, my dad's corporate office moved to Houston. I got to move to Houston, or I'm moving to Hawaii. I'm just going to grow pot and call it a life. Now, you talk to people from L.A., you go, thinking about moving? They go, yeah. I go, where are you moving to? Florida, Nashville, Nevada? I don't know. Like, they got 14 possibilities. Yeah. That's like, I don't even have a destination. Yeah. That means I'm leaving.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean I love Nashville. That just means I'm getting the fuck out of California.
And it's sad because nobody wants to leave here. It's the most beautiful state. It's the most beautiful weather. And it's where, you know, I dreamt my whole life of coming here. And that's what I did when I got here with no money, by the way. And again, I don't want to be too dramatic. My family had some money and they helped me a little bit, but I didn't have any money and I had no connections and I had a dream. And unlike today where they basically want you to want to kill Elon Musk, right. When I first got out here, I dreamt of being Coppola. I dreamt of having a winery and I dreamt of having all of these great things. I didn't dream like, you know what, I want to take all of his shit and for myself, you know? So
well, I mean, also, what is their batting average on delivering any of the stuff they promise? Right. And also, they can't. Okay, here's what I want to say to people. When they go, what's wrong with the universal income of giving everyone $1,800 a month so they can live in dignity? They always go, live in dignity. I go, getting free shit from the government is not living in dignity. Yeah. Having a job and thriving in it and paying your own way is living in dignity. Yeah. Food stamps and SNAP and welfare, that's not living in dignity. That's table scraps from the government, you fucking retards. I don't get why. I'm not drawing a straight line between money and dignity.
I just think, you know, the most important thing for people to find is a purpose in life. And I think that the more you are handed, the less that you are able to find that purpose. And listen, we see it in Hollywood, and I'm guilty of it myself. When you make a little bit of money, sometimes you take your foot off the gas a little bit because you do have that safety net. But that doesn't mean, by the way, because I don't want to sit here and go, I don't want anyone to be helped. Of course we want to help people that can't help themselves. But it's getting to the point where it's just, you know, I saw it during COVID. The amount of people I knew who took COVID bullshit that did not need it.
Right.
And then sat around for months and months and loved that they didn't have to go to work was, you know, it was horrifying.
Yes. I keep thinking, so what I'm saying, what Doug is saying is it's not just about X amount a month. It's the dignity and pride of earning that and having purpose and creating something. This notion of, you know, I think if somebody said, look, Adam, what do you make a year? And I went, here's how much I make a year. And they went, fine, stay home. We'll just give you that amount. I'd be day drinking and walking around like Howard Hughes in a fucking bathrobe with Kleenex boxes for slippers in like 3 weeks.
Right.
And I'd be rudderless and I'd be purposeless. It would rob me of all this stuff. I do sometimes think when I realize, like, I got divorced, I got to pay, I got a big nut, I go, in a weird way, it's nice. It makes you write books. It makes you go on the road. It makes you do stand-up. Like, it makes you, it gets you up and out of bed. Yeah. It may seem like an obligation, but the alternative is sitting home and walking to the mailbox and getting your check from the government. It robs people of dignity. So it's like, my discussion that I want to have with the government is like, I'm not even talking about money or food stamps or lunch tickets for schools. I'm talking about dignity. Like, I want you to cook your kid breakfast. I don't want the school and the government providing everything for your kid. You're robbing them.
I just don't believe that they believe in it for the most part. It keeps their jobs, which are basically welfare jobs, these government jobs where they do nothing and they just continually promise to give people free stuff, which they don't deliver on anyway for the most part. So,
yes.
And then they keep their jobs and then they get their power and they get to walk around. They get to come on TV shows and talk. And it's a frustrating cycle. And the government keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And I don't understand how people don't see this happening.
Podcasting isn't just about talking. It's about growing, engaging, and monetizing. And that's where Podcast One Pro comes in. Whether you're an independent creator or a major brand, Podcast One Pro gives you the tools you need to take your podcast to the next level. We're talking about premium hosting, advanced analytics, dynamic ad integration, and expert distribution, all designed to maximize your reach and revenue. Plus, with access to Podcast One's industry-leading network, you'll be connected to top-tier advertisers and a massive audience. It's time to go pro and turn your passion into profit. Visit PodcastOnePro.com to get started today. Podcast One Pro, the power behind the podcast.
Hello, and welcome to Pluto Phone. If you know the name of the movie you'd like to see, just stream it for free on Pluto TV, where all your blockbuster favorites are landing all summer long. Catch Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy.
Fantastic.
Men in Black, 1 through 3.
That's what I'm talking about.
Mean Girls.
Shut up.
Titanic.
I'm the king of the world.
And so much more. For showtimes, press nothing. They're free 24/7.
That is so fetch.
On Pluto TV. Stream now. Pay never.
Well, people sadly vote themselves free stuff, and that's the beginning of the end. I don't know, Thomas Jefferson or somebody basically just went, once the citizens realize they can vote themselves stuff, it's over.
Yeah.
And we're sort of on the precipice of that. I know I keep walking around and I keep thinking of the phrase Declaration of Dependence, which is like, we are fucking ourselves with this dependence stuff. And like, terms of SNAP or food stamps or whatever assistance or whatever, you go, well, do you want to deny people that have disability to, yeah, okay. What percentage of people really couldn't fend for themselves if you just got rid of all of it tomorrow? I'm going to go less than 5%. Like, they really could not take care of themselves. I'm going to go less than 5%. It's like, what percentage of people that are on disability, who are getting a check on disability, if you said, I'll give you $1 million if you get up and go back and do your job for one more year at the post office, or I know you say your back hurts too much, but I'll give you $1 million. They'd all get up the next morning and go. Like, what percentage of people who are claiming their kids on the spectrum for autism and they're getting $1,400 a month, or claim they're in hospice care or whatever? What percentage of those people, what percentage of people who fly with their dogs actually need their fucking dog on that flight, other than wanting to fly free with their dog? It's the same.
I've done that. I feel bad now.
Oh, no. It's the same with all this other bullshit.
Yeah.
I'm not saying punish the 5% who have no use of their legs or have a seeing eye dog. I'm saying the 95% who doesn't need to be there, get them off the books.
But also punish these politicians who are wasting it, stealing it, and doing whatever they're doing, because then you can help the people that really need help. But the amount of waste, the debt the country's in right now, it's going to destroy all of us. And honestly, like, I do like to say it's both sides. You know, Trump was supposed to come in and cut the national debt. Of course he didn't. From his second one, which is why Elon got so mad at him, even though everyone still hates Elon. But I mean, it's just, it's
that would be a good sitcom for you to work on. Everyone still hates Elon.
I like it.
Chris Rock, executive producer. Well, what is the state of Hollywood now from a guy who, Entourage was such a great show. The movie was great. I watched every episode, but it was also real insiders peek behind the curtain of Hollywood. And it was dramatized, but, everyone is based on somebody.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what it was back then. What is it like now?
I'm definitely not immersed in it as I was, but what I see from lots of friends who I'm still friends with, everybody I worked with, it's a tough road out there. The town is not hiring the way they were. And I'm talking like most of my friends are the working class guys in Hollywood, the grips, the camera operators, the cinematographers, whatever. I mean, it is extremely difficult for them to get jobs. It costs a fortune. I shot a pilot a couple of years ago with Charlie Sheen, actually. And by the way, we did it extremely inexpensively, and still it is so much money to put things together, and everything is such a hassle. We had, the COVID testing, by the way, which you want to talk about the scam of the scams that we had to do after the pandemic was basically over. It cost us 12% of our budget just in COVID testing. So I think right now, Hollywood obviously is spreading, and AI is going to affect it no matter what people want to say. But at the end of the day, I think one of the good things that is happening with technology is you do have people like yourself who can be anywhere and can show their talents and show their gifts. So that's a good thing. But I think in terms of being in Hollywood, first of all, you think about Entourage. I think about shooting. I drive around. I'm like, where the fuck would I shoot? Everything looks like shit. I again dreamt of this city from the time I was young. And when I came out here, and one of the big things with Entourage, as realistic as it was, I wanted every frame to look like this is where you want to be. This is what you dream of. And actually, one of your guys I was just talking to who works on the show, he said he moved to Hollywood because of Entourage, who's out there, nice kid out there. So I think that right now, Hollywood is in a very precarious position, as well as the entire state of California is, and I don't know what the solution is. And that's why I want to emphasize that I wasn't saying, Spencer Pratt's going to save everything. But I think the status quo, or going worse with Ramen, is a horrifying thought.
Yeah, she's the one who blamed Toyota for the catalytic converter thefts, which means she is fucking dumb, and she's a socialist. But what would a socialist do? Well, the socialist, if there are groups of gangs that were stealing catalytic converters, by the way, it's kind of an interesting thing in Hollywood, I should say in California. California, I'll give you a good example of California. California and Los Angeles have no mass transit to speak of. Nothing you could really use. Very rare that you could take the subway and take a bus and go to work every day and come back every day safely. All right, so they don't have that. So everyone is kind of tethered to their car in SoCal. And the politicians have realized that because they offer no alternative, everyone is tethered to their car. You have to have a car. So in terms of DMV and registration and fees and parking tickets and whatever, nothing is more expensive car-wise than in Los Angeles. Mm-hmm. And everyone knows it, like valet parking, everything. You get pulled over, registration, no front license plate, expired tabs, whatever. It's a huge money-making, generating thing. Now, it affects poor people or middle-class people the worst. All right, what are you talking about? Well, when I was poor, I couldn't afford to park in the parking structure at Century City when I got a job painting commercial office buildings. I'd have to park off by the side or whatever. Then you get the car towed. Then you get fucked. I got cars towed all the time. I got motorcycles towed all the time. Poor people get their catalytic converter stolen because they have to park on the street.
Right.
Rich people park in a garage and they shut the door, or they park behind a gated community or whatever it is. So these things, breaking into cars, stealing stuff out of cars, catalytic converter stealing stereos and stuff like that, that all affects poor people. Rich people, I've not got a parking ticket since I got rich. And the reason is I park in my parking lot, or I park in my driveway. I have play. Or if I go to Century City, I got $25 to park in the municipal mall parking structure over there. It fucks up poor people. So
how about the mileage tax? I mean,
right.
I mean,
How about the gas? How about the gas cap?
Who is that going to affect? You know,
gas tax does $6 a gallon, $7 a gallon does not affect George Clooney in Los Angeles, but affects his gardener who drives an F-250 loaded up with tools. Okay, and lives in Sun Valley, by the way, who has to come over the hill. Yeah. So all this shit impacts poor people the most. But Nithya Raman is angry at Toyota for making it too easy to steal catalytic converters, not angry at the Mexican cartels that are getting these gangs together to steal.
That's why I don't believe her. I just think she wants to win. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they have some real belief that I don't understand. But she also doesn't think there's a problem with homeless encampments next to your school.
Right.
And honestly, like, I'm not being funny. I do not like my fiance walking around with my baby in the streets of Hollywood. I don't like it. That's a crazy thought to think about. But
yeah, in the middle of the day.
Yeah, I mean it's insane. You know,
I agree.
You know,
so you found that stuff in Hollywood is basically kind of ground to a halt.
I mean, to a certain degree. I mean, obviously there's still a lot of people working, but a lot less than were.
What was the Sheen? I happen to find Charlie Sheen delightful.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I find him to be super talented as well. And I do think somebody would be smart to put that guy in another sitcom.
Listen, we made a great pilot, and Charlie was one of the best people I've ever worked with, you know. And
what was it for?
We just did it on our own. We were sitting around, and you know, I had a guy who's like, "Why don't you write something? I'll finance it." I was like, "Great!" And we made an excellent pilot that almost sold to a couple of places. But at the end of the day, the cost for me to shoot it was L.A. was going to be, you know, for a half-hour comedy, was going to be $5-6 million an episode, and that's it's a pricey endeavor. So, but I'll send it to you. It's actually excellent.
I'm looking for my piece of paper.
Your notes?
I had some movie ideas to pitch you, but I can't. Oh, it's underneath my notepad. See, I got notes upon notes upon notes. Yeah, I mean, I guess, you know, somebody said to me some years ago when I was doing an interview, they sort of said, seems like you saw all this coming because you sort of went independent a long time ago. And I remember reacting quickly. I was like, no. And then I went, yeah, maybe I did kind of see where this was heading and sort of consciously said, I think I need to not work for Disney or ESPN or something. I think I would need some autonomy because I may be given opinions that are unpopular.
Right.
And that would be difficult if you work for ESPN. Yeah. Well, it wouldn't be opinions that are unpopular. It'd be like you telling the truth.
Yeah.
That would make you super unpopular.
Well, you know, everyone's got their truth. I mean, I wanted to ask you about your boy because I get some clips sent to me yesterday. Like, you know, Jimmy Kimmel was on Entourage. We also did a commercial together.
Oh, yeah.
And then I see some clip of him yesterday saying, you know, Entourage is like, got some douchebag factor and he's never seen an episode or blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, I have a lot of friends who we disagree politically, but when it becomes so kind of entrenched and aggressive, how do you guys? Because you guys have managed to keep the friendship, right? I mean,
yes. Oh wait, we have a clip. Well, you know, I love the Entourage, but you know, I did a show called The Man Show, and that was
I know
kind of show. Well, no, I know, but I mean is that's another kind of show that you might not be able to make today.
You know,
but we'll watch the clip. Let's see. Sound seems to be an issue.
How many times did you watch Entourage, the show that you were?
I'm trying to
think.
He's really pissed. You on the phone call?
How many times did you watch Entourage, the show that you were in?
0 times.
Right. So you're serious?
Yeah, it's not my thing. It attracts a certain breed of douchebag.
8 out of 10 I enjoyed.
Larry Charles, who was friendly with my girlfriend at the time, Sarah Silverman, asked me if I would do it.
Great Johnny Rama!
Well, look, I look pretty good.
You look thin.
I look lean.
That's what I meant.
Hey, Jimmy Kimmel. Thanks for having me on. It's been a long time. I have been going to the gym.
Please welcome the new face of Johnny Walker, Johnny Chase. Look at you.
Funny intro.
Thank you.
We did play softball together. Jimmy wasn't very good. What? You weren't?
You are wearing a lot of makeup. Is this a joke?
No.
Johnny's not even
All right,
spelled
we're not
correct.
going to watch the series, but
Anyway,
I love Entourage. I have no
he-
idea.
He was, he was on the show once.
Yes.
And then he came back when we did the movie. He did that. That was a commercial. That second one, it was a Johnny Walker commercial. But I just the unnecessary attack years later. It's just bizarre. I mean, but he seems like such an angry, embittered guy. I just don't understand it. But anyway.
I don't see him that way, but I know him in a different way.
Yeah.
I guess. I think there's a problem, and I think this is the problem. I'm friends and have been friends with a lot of people that are, on the left.
Yeah.
And I'm friends with Bryan Cranston. I agree with him, disagree with him politically.
Yeah.
But I don't need to kind of go, Breaking Bad sucked.
Yeah.
Because I can go Breaking Bad is good, and then I disagree with Bryan Cranston.
Right.
And on the left, there's a lot of Elon Musk. That guy's just dumbest motherfucker that's ever been on the planet. It's like, okay, he's not dumb.
Go get in that self-driving car and tell me how dumb he is.
Well, you don't like his politics, but let's not call him racist or dumb or xenophobic or whatever. Just go, I disagree. I feel like the left needs to throw the baby out with the bathwater. It has to be kind of across the board stuff and not as nuanced.
And by the way, the weird thing is I still think I'm on the left. I might be out of my fucking mind. I still think I'm on the left.
Well,
but
I tell people all the time, I'm not religious, and I don't own a gun, and I'm for legalizing pot. So I don't know how big a right-wing MAGA guy I can be. And
you're not homophobic.
No.
You're not racist.
I love Jews and homos. I wish more Jews were gay. I wish there were more of you. I mean, us. I mean, you know what I'm saying.
I understand. But I mean, I think, the interesting thing with Entourage, because when I look back at it now, it's almost a case study. When the movie came out, it was pretty much what the show was. If you like the show, you like the movie pretty much. But the reviews, which our reviews, we were an Emmy-nominated show. We were a critically acclaimed show. The reviews on the movie were like these fucking white privileged pieces of shit. And I didn't even understand it at the time. I was like, whoa, what did I do so different? But that's the culture. And I think what we've seen is the writers at all of these newspapers and magazines that used to be the working class guys have become these fucking nasty Ivy League cunts who hate everything. And, because I do. And again, we don't need to rehash Entourage 15 years later. But the fact of the matter is it wasn't the man show. It wasn't just a misogynistic thing. It was a bunch of guys who really came from nothing together, and their loyalty to each other was the most important thing. So when I see Jimmy, who, by the way, was not nice that day when we shot. He was very aloof and standoffish, and most of the people I've worked with tended to be good people who wanted to be where we were. So, it's a little annoying to wake up and see that,
Well, I defend Jimmy, and I like Jimmy, but I realize other people have issues.
Yeah.
And while I will defend Jimmy and how he acts with me and what he's done for me, I'm not going to deny other people feelings about what he's done and how they interact. Yeah. I loved Entourage. And Entourage, if you'd taken a black female and shoved her in the middle of Entourage, it would have bumped me because it was a bunch of dudes from the neighborhood who've come along, and that woman would have stood out like a sore thumb, and that's fine.
Listen, it was a big thing when we were casting the show, and I do want to say, for whatever it's worth, the first thing I did after Entourage was was an entirely African-American cast show. Not because I was trying to make up for anything, because that's what interests me. I mean, I also did a movie called Fat Beach when I was 23 years old. So I did a movie with
PH Fat Beach.
PH-AT with Coolio. But I did a show with that was my idea with Mike Tyson that we did with Spike Lee and John Ridley. So anyway, I'm only saying that because when Entourage happened, there were some conversations like you need to put like a black guy in this group. And I said, listen, I'm writing the way I grew up. It was Italians, it was Irish, it was Jews.
Right.
I'm writing what I know. So I'm writing these characters. And then furthermore, when they would say, well, where are the black agents in Hollywood? I said, I'm only reflecting what is.
Right.
Because there weren't 15
15
years ago a lot of black agents at CAA, William Morris, or any of them. So I said, I'm just writing what I see. And it was a big discussion. And Chris Albrecht, thank God, was like, because a couple of people forced me to bring in someone that I didn't want to cast for the role of Kevin Connolly's role. And great actor, funny as hell, and he was black, and I didn't think it was the right most. And I remember Chris going, did he grow up with these guys? And I'm like, thank you. So that's what we did, and I don't have any apologies for it. Those guys were meant to be from a specific time and a specific place and coming here, and that's what it was,
The aforementioned Fareed Zakaria clip with him in California, and it's kind of sad that stuff that everyone, including myself, has been saying for 2 decades, we have to wait for Fareed to say it in order to take some notice. But it was a good kind of encapsulation of California, and I do think it's sort of like a dad from the other team whose son got called out on first, and everyone's arguing who's his dad from the other side going, my son was out. Now let's go back. And you go, well, listen to him. That's his son. You know what I mean? Like you go, Fareed is a leftist CNN guy. So if he's going to say it means at least he means it. It's not propaganda. We'll play like the first few minutes of it, just so in case you hadn't heard it. He dropped it a few weeks ago. And look, all I'm asking for, and I think all Doug is asking for, is we're not saying turn California MAGA. We're saying listen to Fareed and make some changes and fix some things.
Yeah, and lose the thoughts about the national situation, and let's focus where we live and where our kids live.
Good point, yes.
The frustration is real and justified. California is one of the most dynamic places on the planet. It has Silicon Valley, Hollywood, world-class universities, extraordinary agriculture, ports, talent, and natural beauty. But it is a case study in how a rich society can spend more and more while producing less and less of what its ordinary citizens need. The paradox of California today is a successful economy attached to a failing model of governance. Consider the fiscal record. Since 2000, California's population has grown by roughly 15%. But the state's general expenditures have grown more than 200%, from $78 billion to about $248 billion. General spending per person has risen from about $2,300 to about $6,300. The number of state employees has grown by more than 50% by one count. Does anyone think that California government and its benefits have gotten 200% better in the last 25 years? Housing is the central failure. California has long spoken the language of compassion while building a system of exclusion. Alicia Finley writes in the Wall Street Journal that from 2021 to 2024, the LA metro area, with nearly 13 million people, issued only 118,000 building permits for new homes. Atlanta, with about half that population, issued 163,000. California has made it too hard, slow, and expensive to build. The result is predictable. Home prices soar, rents rise,
All right.
workers...
We get it. It's too
You know what it reminds
mobbed
me
up
of?
with red tape.
it reminds me of Good Will Hunting when Matt Damon's like, when Robin Williams is like, it's not your fault.
Right.
It's not like he gives us permission now to say, yeah, like this is all we're saying is it doesn't have to be Republican, Democrat. There's just bad policies here. They're not working and people aren't happy,
Yes. See, I was early money on all of this because I was a builder and I had to deal with the city and permits and plan check and all that kind of stuff. And we're going back to the 90s and late 80s, and I'm like, this is a shit show. And they're making it really hard to get stuff done. And I used to complain about it all the time, but nobody knew what I was talking about. And then when I got from being a contractor to speaking into a microphone, I would constantly talk about this. Dawson, the Joel McHale trying to build a swimming pool rant.
2006, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, that thing's 20 years old. Is that somewhere? Joel McHale is a friend, and he was trying to build a swimming pool in his backyard of his house up in the hills, and they weren't going to let him do it.
Right.
And I was like, you people don't understand. First off, I don't like this premise where you want to pay your own money and build your own pool and employ your own pool man and all the ancillary stuff that comes off of that, all the skimmers and chlorine and diatomaceous earth, like everyone else that gets paid off of that. And the government, who you pay taxes to and property taxes to and every form of tax to, inserts itself and goes, no pool for you.
Right.
Like I don't like that world.
I'm with you.
Now, look, if you want to build your own trebuchet in your backyard and launch stray cats at a neighbor's house, okay, the government can step in.
Right.
But this is just Joel McHale would like to work with a licensed contractor to build him a pool in his backyard, and that ain't going to happen because the city won't permit it, because the city will make it way too difficult, and Joel McHale will get no pool. And by the way, no job for the pool man.
Did he never get it done?
He never built his pool. He used to use his neighbor's pool.
That's sick.
Yeah. Although they were a gay couple, so they paid him. Picture. But I was keen on this stuff years and years and years ago, and I would say the government's too big. You don't want this. And people go, what about safety? I'm like, you don't. They're going to hide behind safety.
Right.
And then they're going to overregulate everything. And then Joel McHale's a metaphor. No pool for Joe McHale, but no low-cost housing for anybody.
Right.
Because they won't let you do it.
Right.
And I would talk about all the time, and then the fires hit, and Malibu's not even close to being. There's nothing being built in Malibu because of the Coastal Commission. And I keep saying to these people, why do you want more regulation? And I saw the clip of Jane Fonda with Bill Maher, and Bill Maher's like, we're over-regulated. And she's like, I don't think there's enough. And it's like, oh, my God.
Doesn't affect her.
I guess that's...
Doesn't she lives in her own world? I mean, Ted Turner probably gave her $500 million.
I get it, but it's like, I have a swimming pool, and I don't need Joel McHale's pool, but I still want to live in a world where he's allowed to pay a contractor, a licensed, competent contractor, to build him a pool.
Yeah.
All right. Do we have that?
Number 27th
put it on the
his
screen
Let's
there.
Take Me a Pool tour.
Yeah.
How's it going?
We saw the plans.
How are you coping with the coping?
Well, let me just say that I think I need to go out more.
Really?
Because this retaining wall, I feel like we're building a dam.
Oh.
A hydro. It's like the Hoover Dam. It's a hydro, like it's going to be
There'll
serious.
actually be day laborers entombed in it.
Yes, it will be like the Great Wall of China.
Yes.
It will take so long, and it will be so deep and so high that...
I've said it once, I'll say it again, and I'll be very quick about it. All of you who claim to be simpatico with the government and who are cool with the administration and cool with the man, come out to Southern California, buy yourself a house in the hills, and try to build something.
Yeah.
And then you will quickly go from Janine Garofalo to Ruby Ridge. just in a matter. I mean, there's a part that wants you to get on the roof of your house with a shotgun and shoot at anybody in a government vehicle. Like, what you have to do, the unnecessary acts, and by the way, it translates into hundreds of thousands of dollars that you throw literally into a hole in a ground because some a-hole engineer wanted to satisfy the city. He has no stake in it, and it is completely and utterly
And it's their
insane.
time for power.
Yes,
Their little
and all you do is cut the
kingdom.
checks. My brother-in-law has a house. My sister and brother-in-law have a place up in Topanga Canyon. He wants to build a house on some land. He wanted to build a retaining wall, and he went to the geologist and he went to the engineer, and the guy said, here's all you do. You drill caissons 64 feet deep. You do them 4 foot wide.
When you hit oil or bedrock, stop.
You do them 8 foot on center, and you do them for 200 feet. That is the Hoover goddamn dam. That is $300,000 and 40 cement trucks or 80 cement trucks. It's impossible to do, but what does the city care, and what does the engineer care?
How is anything still standing according to their standards now?
Please, all right. Now, Joel McHale, I must stand up and yell at every goddamn engineer and every goddamn city
Teresa, I'm
bureaucrat in this city.
Look what you've done.
Number
Keep
2.
standing, everyone.
Let me say this. Joel, you like this tea?
I was so excited for the Oprah clip.
Start thinking. You think about posters with cats on
Okay.
it.
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Okay.
All right, you can just skip 1 minute and you just hear me scream for 30 seconds, and then we'll get back to
Better safe than sorry. Hey, we're an earthquake country. My house was built in 1929. It has no reinforced concrete, no plywood because plywood wasn't invented, no Simpson straps, no HDs, no hold downs, no all thread, no J bolts, no nothing. 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 They had some poor Irish guy, poor foundation, and they set a house on it.
He's sweating
That
blood.
was it. There was no straps and no Tico clips and no 835s and no continuous shear wall and no moments and no nothing. No nailing schedule, no inspector, no nothing. Now, nothing.
Nothing.
Now, that house was built in 29, and you know where it is today? Right the F where it was put. By all the dead people.
Don't need it.
Wow, you were a right winger back then. I can't believe it. I mean,
I was against the government.
and you were 100%
telling
correct,
you
and-
what to do, spending your money,
Right.
basically. You understand, with the stroke of a pen, they spend $200,000 of your money, because what they were saying to Joel McHale is you don't get a pool in your backyard until you build $300,000 worth of retaining wall.
Right.
And he's like, I don't want to spend $300,000 on a retaining wall, and then no pool for you.
Right.
Right. So in a weird way, it was like COVID. They're giving you a choice. Like, you don't have to get vaccinated. You just can't travel or go to work or go to school or breathe. We'll get you fucking shit canned from your job, and you won't be welcome anywhere, and you can't go out to eat. But you don't have to get. It's not
It's your choice.
It's not mandated.
Freedom.
Yeah. You can live in a cage in your living room.
Well, that was a great rant, but
that
I
rant
wish
was 7 minutes long.
I wish you got it out there earlier, and I wish people started to hear this stuff, because I think people are starting to go, this is enough, and everything, even the mansion tax, which was supposed to kill all the rich people. But why would you develop if on a loss? By the way, you have to pay that tax. So you build a building, you want to build something to help people live, and you lose money on it, you still have to pay a 5% on this tax. I mean, I just think we're entering a really crazy time of there's no control, and I feel like we're spinning, and it's getting worse by the minute. So
I read a thing that said, like, I think it was Burger King had to shut down 50 franchises because they are doing the minimum wage thing at $20, and they're like, we can't turn.
they always say that you're lying when you say stuff like this, and I don't know about big companies like Burger King. I have a lot of friends who own small restaurants, pizza places, things like that. It kills them. And what they do 100% is hire one less person.
Yeah.
My friend who owns a pizza place, he goes, I now run from the pizza to the register to do this. I also now don't teach a young kid how to learn this business so that maybe he might open his own restaurant one day. And it's a cycle of nonsense. And again, I want everybody to have a wage that they can live on, obviously, but the government controlling the market, I don't think it ever works. So
it never worked.
Yeah.
There shouldn't be a minimum wage. You figure it out with your boss. Think about everything past minimum wage is no minimum wage. You have to figure it out. I mean, when I was a carpenter, I was getting $7 an hour and a minimum wage like $4 an hour. I was past minimum wage when I was 19, and then everything past that was like a negotiation.
Right.
You know, they go, "You want to work on the shop? Like how much? $12 an hour." I go, about 15. How about 13? Right. You know what I mean? And then we'd figure it out.
Right.
The government wasn't getting involved.
Right. Well, you got to show your value, and you got to make yourself indispensable. And I know, that's.
I agree.
I don't know.
All right. I got a movie pitch for you.
Okay.
You were talking about your driverless car and the innovation, and you use it yourself.
The driverless car?
Yeah, I mean,
I actually am angry when I have to go in another car and actually work in the car now. I don't care. Maybe Elon's a Nazi. Maybe he's awful. This is the greatest invention I've ever seen in my life.
You left your home today in your Tesla.
I spoke to it, and I said, take me to whatever the address was here. And that was the end of my work.
That's it. And then you sit in the passenger seat, and you do nothing.
Well, I'm in the driver's seat. I would like to sit in the passenger seat because you want to hear funny? The government.
No, I made a mistake. I got
a ticket last week while this is going on because I texted and I said to the cop, and by the way, my son's a cop, so I'm a pro cop guy. I know that makes me right wing too. That I want cops to be. I want them to do things legally, but I like cops. But he pulls me over, and I'm like, "Sir, I'm not even driving," and he goes, "You should not have admitted that." And I actually got kind of scared. Like, what do you mean I shouldn't have admitted that? What are you talking about? Like Waymos, you see them all over the city. Nobody's driving them. I'm just happened to be sitting in the driver's seat. But he gave me a ticket. So
for texting.
For texting and driving when I wasn't driving.
Oh, it's interesting. And somebody will have to think about that because that's an interesting.
Well, it's all going to go. I mean,
yeah. I'm just saying we're at a crossroads that we never thought of. It's illegal to text and drive, except for the car was driving itself. So why not text?
Right.
And you could probably fight that.
Yeah.
But yeah. So in the car, you just put the address in here and then sit back, and the car just drives here.
I have a little mount, and I put my phone there, and I watch a movie. I watch,
and it drives in what manner?
I did this from Nashville, so I've experienced this thing. This works, and it's incredible. There's modes. You can be on chill, which is very slow. You can be on standard, which stays on the thing. You can go hurry, gets a little faster, and then there's a Mad Max mode, which I think you can actually adjust it to go even faster, but that drives pretty aggressively. But
it still obeys the law, right?
It'll break the law. It'll in Mad Max it'll speed more than it should and whatever. But I'll tell you, one of the biggest changes for me using this thing is I don't care. I'm not in a rush anymore. I don't feel stressed all the time. I'm just like whatever.
And it'll tell you you're going to arrive at this time.
Yeah.
And is it always dead nuts on?
I mean, pretty much it if traffic changes, things happen,
Right.
but it's pretty amazing. And I think that all the stuff that you were just talking about will change, whether it's 5, 10, 20 years. You won't need valet parking. You won't need this. You won't need that. And your car will drop you off and then it'll go to work. It'll, be an Uber driver.
And it will find the best route as it goes, as it navigates. All right. So, movie pitch.
Yeah.
All right. Everyone is driving it. It could be in the future, 10 years.
Okay.
Everyone has the driverless car.
Yeah.
Right. And everyone uses it. You'd be a sucker not to. So the movie opens with a Bruce Willis type character from the 80s or 90s, right?
Yeah.
And he works at NASA. He said, we film it at JPL in Pasadena. And he comes pulling in his 69 Ford Bronco. And they're like guys see him. All the driverless cars are all parked in the parking lot. And he comes pulling in and like, Bob, you're late. And he's like, I know, it overheated. I had to stop and put water in it. And they're like, when are you going to join us in the present, Bob, with this old jalopy?
Yeah.
Come on now. And he's like, I don't call me old fashioned, but I like to steer my own rig, And they go in and they're making fun. And then, of course, on the way out after a day's work, JPL. He's trying to start the car, and it's like, no. And they're all gathered around laughing. Why don't you get a self? These babies do all the thinking for you, you know? And he goes, I don't trust that, whatever. And then cuts to, again, he's got the beautiful woman waiting for him at dinner, and then he shows up. She's like, Bob, you're late. I know, the car, would you just get yourself? And all right, later on, rogue Russian satellite gets launched, takes control of all the driverless cars. And we show a montage of like the moms driving their daughters to school, you know, and they're driving down the street. No. They're just going, the car turns left. The kid's like, Mom, school's that way. I know, the car did it itself. And the door's locked, you know, and then, you know, try to grab the wheel, can't control it. Maybe skull and crossbones on the dash. Huh? Next thing you know, Mom, that direction's the Grand Canyon. No. Launch into the Grand Canyon. The rogue satellite is launching everybody into the ocean. They show them the West Coast are driving off the pier into the bay. Arizona, they're going into the Grand Canyon, into Hoover Dam. Like so. Well, there's one guy who's not being affected.
He's got to stop it all.
That's the guy with the 69 Bronco. Space engineer. He's the only guy who can be launched up to defeat that satellite.
I love it. It's Glenn Powell.
Yeah, it's called Navageddon.
The truth is, though, and I like the opening of it. I think about this every day. I mean, I watch the TV. They tell me Elon's a Nazi. I saw 60 Minutes 15 years ago. They had a guy take a laptop and take control of a car with his laptop and make it not break. So I always go, if Elon is as evil as they say, can he not hit a button? You know, because some of this shit is scary. I mean, you know, there's a camera on you at all times.
Right.
You can see everything that you're doing. Right. And then I didn't even know when Grok came into the car. Do you know this? Like, you know what Grok is?
Yeah, I know what Grok is.
So Grok is in the car. So when I was in Nashville, I had a situation where a guy I watched almost get run over by a car right near the house I was living in. And I go to this party and I'm telling someone, I saw this crazy thing. And the guy goes, that was me. So I'm at the party with this guy. I get back in the car and I tell my fiance, I'm like, that was crazy. The guy, it was almost him. And all of a sudden the car starts talking, which I did not know it was in there. I did nothing to initiate it. And all of a sudden it going, that's a very bizarre story that you happen to be in the same place. And I'm like, holy shit, this car is listening to me. And I started asking Grok, like, how often are you listening to me? What are you able to testify against me? Like if I commit a crime? And it's so some of it is very scary, but the self-driving is worth it. So if I get testified against, I'll have to deal with it, you know?
So this sounds like a movie Johnny Drama may have been in, like
this
Viking Quest or something
I love
like
it for
that.
Johnny Drama. By the way, if Jimmy Kimmel doesn't stop the reboot, I will. That will be the movie that Drama does. He has his. It's great.
Navageddon.
I love it. I love it, and it would actually be perfect for him. So.
All right, I got another pitch for you.
Okay.
Now this one, I got a few. This one I've felt pretty strong about, and you can you can. Is there going to be a reboot of?
I don't know.
Maybe.
Who knows? Anything's possible.
I got offered.
We may do it with AI.
I got offered a part in that, and it went to. I was offered it, and my agent said no, and Artie Lang ended up doing it. But my agent never told me.
Fucker.
And I was like, baby doll, what? And he's like, yeah, you're so busy. I just said no. I go, I love that show. It's my favorate show. And he goes, yeah, you're too busy.
If we do a reboot, you're in.
Please.
If you want to be.
Please. All right. This one, got a few different ideas here. I really mean this one. I mean this one. The lowest paid guy on the NFL roster is the long snapper. It's also a veteran job. Like there was a guy who played for San Diego. It was like 40.
Yeah,
it's a specialty. You don't do anything else. You don't play tight end and long snap. You just long snap, but you get paid the least.
Yeah.
But if that guy's team gets to the Super Bowl and a mafioso guy gets hold of that guy,
you can control the game.
You can really control the game, and there's no second string long snapper. It's not like they pull you.
Right.
And it's totally unprovable. You just bounce back a punt, snap it over the guy's head, and then you fuck up a field goal.
All right.
You just had a bad day, you know?
All right.
You got to kidnap that guy's daughter in order to get him to do it.
I like the idea because you asked what's Tulane famous for, and the truth is what they're most famous for was a point shaving scandal with, if you remember, John Hot Rod Williams, who was
in basketball, right?
Yeah, basketball. I mean, they were giving some players cocaine, I think, to throw the games.
How much point shaving could you do if you get to the least paid guy on the roster and go, listen, I need one snap over the punter's head?
Yeah.
And I need one bounce back on a field goal.
You can get a lot. I mean, we saw NBA All-Stars who are going to jail for throwing games. So certainly you can get a long snapper. So, okay, what happens, though?
Well, they kidnap the guy's daughter and because he won't do it otherwise because he's a good dude and he's a veteran. And the team wins the playoff game and, like, gets to the Super Bowl. So now they're in the Super Bowl, and he's got to play in it, and it's his daughter. Now, what I have so far, I have the mafia guy standing on the sideline looking ominous, and then the long snapper's getting up, and the game's tied, and this is the one where he's got to snap it over the punter's head. But right when he goes hike, he pivots and fires a rocket right at the mafia guy and takes the guy out.
I thought you were going to bring your Bruce Willis guy in his Bronco running through the field and running him over.
I don't combine movies.
Right,
I don't cross-pollinate that way. All right, one more pitch.
Yeah.
All right. Now, this is an old one. It's called Pedophile. It's an island with pedophiles. Okay. Now, it's in the future.
Okay.
And we've taken French Guiana. And we have an international treaty. All the world understands we don't know what to do with the pedophiles. Chemical castration, physical castration, lock them up forever. We don't want them back in society. Yeah. And neither do the people of England or France or Germany or wherever. We have clandestinely and quietly designated Devil's Island in French Guiana is pedophile.
Okay.
All the world drops its pedophiles off on that island.
All right.
And they immediately break off into tribes. It's like the Warriors or something. Got the baseball ones, you got the black ones, They would, if you dropped pedophiles all off, they would all break off into separate tribes. They're all into their own separate stuff, right?
Yeah.
All right. Now, smash cut to United States, You got the dad. He's looking at the picture of the mom that passed. He's got the son, he's got the daughter, and he's got the son, and they're going out on one last Cub Scout jamboree. The dad, the one son is like 14. It's like, come on, son. You're going to make Eagle Scout. He's gone goth.
Okay.
He's like, ever since mom died, he's not into being an Eagle Scout. He doesn't want any part of this. There's the young 9-year-old son who kind of looks up to him, but the son that's 14, 15 that's going to make Eagle Scout is turning his back on scouting.
Okay.
And the dad's like, there's one more jamboree in the Bahamas.
I can't wait to hear where this combines.
And he could be an Eagle Scout, but he's turning his back. But he goes on one more. Well, of course.
The plane crashes and he lands on this fucking island? Is this what happens? It's lost on a pedophilic island? Okay.
On the way back from the jamboree in the Bahamas, the plane goes down on pedophile, right? Okay. Now, all the countries have disavowed any knowledge of this. Mm-hmm. So they can't send in SEAL Team 6.
Okay.
So they have to just kind of pretend like it didn't happen.
All right.
Because this place doesn't exist. Of course, there's one Navy SEAL who knows what's going on and can't look the other way.
So there's a 14-year-old stuck on this island.
No, there's a whole Cub Scout troop that's stuck on this island. The dad and the pilot die in the crash. The 14-year-old who's gone goth, the dad's like, you got to lead now. You were an Eagle Scout. You are an Eagle Scout now. Lead. And then he dies.
Okay, all right.
Well, so now it's all the kids
having to stop being raped from all these pedophiles, or
prevent
minors attracted. Is that what they are now? Or
themselves.
Are there any just minor attracted?
There's all
ones,
different groups. Some are gay, some are straight, some like them a little older, some like them a little younger. They're all out on this island.
I think you got a hit.
And you got one guy.
Yeah.
Like you take the guy. Oh God. What's the actor from Reacher? Richard.
I don't know his name.
Yeah, but that guy.
That guy last weekend.
Yeah, right. That guy, Reacher guy. Ellin Richards.
Yep, that's right.
That guy's the one Navy SEAL who goes, "I'm commandeering a Zodiac boat and I'm going in. Like if you guys aren't going to do anything." If you guys don't do anything, I'm doing something. So now it's the Eagle Scout leading these kids around the island.
And if they get caught, they get raped. Is that the idea?
It's implied. Well, what we'll do is we hear a kid scream and we show birds fly from the canopy. We don't show insertions. It's not a weird. I don't know what you're getting at or where your mind's going.
I don't know. I've been called since I put my Spencer Pratt video. I was told I was Epstein class like 400 fucking times. So
Alan Richin lands and he's loaded up, but he's only one man and he doesn't know where they are. And they're somewhere, and there's all the different tribes. You know what I'm saying?
I think you got something. I think you self-financed this.
I got something or we got something.
Very good. Very good.
All right, the podcast. Victory.
Yeah, coming back with Jerry Ferrara and Kevin Dillon, so we'll have like the whole group.
Love those guys.
Yeah, good men.
Keep
not
up.
Douchebags. Tell your friend. They're not douchebags.
I'll tell Jimmy, not douchebags. Keep up the good work, Doug.
Thanks.
We'll take a quick break. Dawson's got some news after this. At Marathon gas stations, every stop is the start of fun, like the awesome fuel savings you're going to get with Marathon Rewards. Join Marathon Rewards today and start earning rewards on every gallon of gas. You can redeem rewards at any time, saving up to $1 per gallon. Well, that adds up. And don't forget, Marathon stations are packed with all the conveniences you need to stock up on, to live life on the go. Marathon, where the fun runs on full. Available at participating Marathon locations. Terms and conditions apply. See marathonrewards.com for details.
It's time to check Adam's voicemail.
Ace Man, this is Dr. Emir Costello. You are the father I always wished I had, so I just wanted to say Happy Father's Day. Thanks for everything you've done for us. Get it on.
You can leave us a message at 888-634-1744.
Well, thank you. And if you want to know how my life works, I was talking to Doug Ellin about his self-driving car. I was kind of pumped up about it. It's the kind of thing I would have fought in the past, but I would have fought an electric car in the past. Now I love having an electric car. Now the self-driving car feels pretty good to me. So then he exalts the virtues of it. And then as we're leaving, I walk out, and I'm in the process of looking for a new electric car. I got to narrow down to a few. And I see he's got the flagship with the Falcon wings in it. And I'm looking at the next level down. So as he's climbing into his car, I'm saying to my assistant, Daphne, check if the Tesla Y model has self-driving. Because that may make it a winner over some of the other electric cars that don't have it. Because Doug has told me about the virtues of this, and now I'm really excited about the potential of it. And then I watch Doug in self-driving mode as he announces, all I'm going to do is tell my car, go home, and watch the miracle unfold in front of your eyes. And then I saw the car do 26 attempts to try to get out of my parking lot because there was another car behind it, not blocking it. It's one move if I'm driving the car. It's crank the wheel to the right and pull out. It's one move. And by the way, after the 23rd attempt, when the car did exactly the same thing 23 times in a row, here's the deal. Pause it for a second here, Andrew. I get that there's sometimes when you're pulling in or pulling out where it takes a few moves. But it's not the same move.
Not the same exact move over and over again.
The car went back 8 feet, stopped and rolled forward 8 feet, then went back and kept turning in. And I was like, this car's not... Anyway.
That's the definition of insanity, by the way.
Doug, eventually I said, you got to take control of you got to hold of your bitch. And he just turned it to the left and then cranked it to the right and pulled out one motion. So it was very doable, and I could have done it in one move. And this car tried it 23 times and ended up right back in the same parking spot. And I thought that was kind of weird because you talk about the genius of the car.
Right.
Why doesn't it know how to back out of a parking spot?
That I don't know. That's ridiculous. But just the idea that you could have your Tesla drive you to LAX and then send it home.
That sounds...
That's the best thing that could ever possibly happen.
Right. But they're not going to let you do that yet. And the Uber and cab companies are going to fight you pretty hard once that comes around. But the whole point is I was excited about the self-driving notion. I checked on it, and then I watched this, which is a shit show. Right. We're not exaggerating. He was, according to what the car was doing, it would never get out of the parking lot in self-driving mode. It was literally going forward, going backwards, going backwards, going forward.
Precisely the same degree of turning on those front wheels every single time.
Now, I don't get it because that wasn't a Rubik's Cube of a parking lot. That was pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
And it just failed that test. All right, Dawson, you got news?
Yes, we do. We need more female cops. We're definitely going to need them. At least one in Montreal. I'm not sure if you heard about this, but a female police officer shot and killed an elderly civilian point blank, they're saying. I don't think she did it on purpose. But as we look at this B-roll behind us, I'll describe to you what happened. A female officer and a male officer in Montreal hiding behind several columns, and a planter on the sidewalk separated them from a shooter, a white, red-headed male with a rifle.
Nice hit, he's hit.
Moments before these videos, the shooter ran towards the officer's position, crossing the road. He ignored an elderly civilian in the middle of the road wearing a hat, or I don't know if he's in the middle of the road, but ignored him. The shooter began advancing on the woman cop's position, but the older male civilian kind of just, I guess he just got deer in the headlights, just kind of started to panic. The female officer did not correctly identify the civilian in the heat of the battle and shot him and killed him.
Well, okay, so it's outside the headquarters of...
looks like it says Heel.
ALO? I don't know what ALO... Oh, Pornhub? It's out front of Pornhub. That's what says my thing. Okay.
Oh, wow.
So listen, here's the thing. You guys ready? 2 things about women. If you don't want cops to use deadly force, right? And you have a bunch, this isn't the case here, but I'm just saying in general. Nobody wants cops to use deadly force, or they want deadly force to be the last thing to be used, right? If you put a bunch of women on the beat, and those women are 135 pounds, and they're having to wrestle big dudes down to the ground, deadly force is going to be used quicker and more often.
Yes.
And it actually makes sense.
Yes.
Because we've seen footage of women cops being like shrugged off. You know, like there was that thing that took place in Europe. I don't know if it was Heathrow or wherever it was, but there was some Muslim dude, and he just punched one chick and knocked her out, and then punched another cop chick and knocked her out. Like he just dropped 2, and those 2 were now dropped and could not help when this guy attacked the male cop from behind and was going for his gun or whatever it is.
Right. Plus they need aid, and so you can't continue to go get the perpetrator because you got to protect someone who's down on the ground.
Yeah. So,
thus increasing again the likelihood of deadly force.
Yeah, look, I know no one likes to talk about this, but if you're dealing with big dudes, and I've seen plenty of tape on the internet of like a big dude at a Chili's and like two female officers trying to get him out. He's like drunk and he just shrugs them off. Like he starts laughing and stuff. So I don't mind women, doing detective work or whatever it is, but you put a bunch of chicks on the street, there's going to be consequences.
Well, yeah. I mean, how many female bouncers do you know in the bar industry? Zero.
Right. That's a good point.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. All right.
No one could have seen this coming. A man who routinely boasted about being the first open drag queen to be elected to a school board in the United States was arrested last week for disturbing sex crimes involving children as young as 18 months. This is the dude. I just want you to hear his voice. We should stop being
surprised, because obviously your fucking brain is scrambled. But here we go. Let's do it.
Hiya, guys. Anita Buffum here. I just got done doing a talk, which I've been asked to speak places, which is fabulous, about, LGBTQ issues, or my experience running for a school board, running and winning, honey. And that's been fabulous. So I did a virtual today for the Pennsylvania Democratic Caucus. That was fabulous, honey.
He wanted to say caucus differently.
Yeah, big swinging black caucus. Right. I was part of them for a while.
Right.
Yeah, look, these guys are fucking weirdos. I don't know why we want them anywhere near our kids. And I got to tell you, the worst thing you do for a kid is kind of freak them out a little bit. Like, I remember as a kid, devils and demons and cops and robbers and cowboys and Indians could kind of wrap my mind around that.
Mm-hmm.
But the weird shit was the freaky shit.
It is very hard to wrap your mind around that.
The
as
weird
a child.
shit. Like, yeah. I could remember.
It's not blatantly black and white. That looks scary.
No, I am telling you, the worst thing you can do to a kid is kind of freak them out. And I remember, like, you see movies when you're a kid, and they had all the same themes they have now, and witches and goblins and shit like that, even The Exorcist and stuff like that. And you go, oh man, that's scary. But you take a movie like Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Tommy was weird.
Yes.
And Tommy freaked me out.
Yes.
A little bit. They had the gypsy acid queen and stuff like that. And it was deliberately weird. And weird fucks up kids way more than devil and angel, cop and robber. You know what I mean? Like definable shit. So the idea that we're trying to expose our kids to fucking weird, like I remember John Waters in Divine. You know what I mean? Divine was like the first trans, Divine is?
I never saw it.
Oh, God, are you lucky? God, are you lucky? Yeah, I know. I never saw it either, but you don't know the name Divine.
Okay.
I'm asking you. No?
No.
Divine... Andrew, you know Divine,
is
right?
It a drag queen?
Yeah, Divine was like the first drag queen, John Waters kind of shit.
Okay.
And it was just there to freak people out,
right?
Basically.
Right.
And so you probably may have seen Divine. I don't know. All right. The point is again, I can deal with a cowboy and an Indian and a cop and a robber, but Divine was like, what? Fucking, right. I'm freaked out.
Right.
And it's like, it's the same thing with parents. You can deal with mom and dad arguing. You can deal with dad screaming something. You can deal with dad being mad or whatever. When your parents freak out and just go, I don't know what's going on. I can't take it anymore. That'll freak a kid out. If you want to fuck a kid out, freak him out.
Right.
So that's why I don't want all this fucking drag queen bullshit with the kids.
Well, I mean, look, anybody who... If you do this at a drag show or something like that, okay, whatever. But if this becomes your day-to-day identity, your life, especially in the presence of children, you have serious mental problems.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, the school district superintendent said in a statement that this gentleman is currently barred from any school grounds or district-sponsored events, but he's still on the school board.
You can't get him off that school board.
Still on the school board, but he did say in a statement that we should all be assured that the school board takes all such matters with the utmost seriousness. Yeah, okay, buddy.
Yeah. Just let kids alone. Just let them be kids. They'll find out about how fucked up you all are.
They
Soon
found
enough.
videos of babies on his computer.
Oh, great.
Yeah.
Yeah, but listen, why?
Light him on fire.
How surprised should we all be when these guys have definitely sort of seemed twisted sexually or from a gender standpoint? All right, what else you got?
Over across the pond, a gentleman named Paul Polisland. He's an environmental lawyer, and he organized a group of volunteers called the River Roading Trust to dredge garbage out of a small tributary of the River Roding in northeast London. They apparently did a pretty good job, pulled out 200 bags of trash. However, he's facing charges now. Facing 2 years in prison because he cleaned up a polluted river without a permit.
Oh,
he needed
yeah.
a permit
That is.
to pull that garbage out.
That always cracks me up when somebody wants to fill their own pothole and the city comes after them. I normally think they do because it's like a shaming thing. Like we've all had shit roommates. And if you want to piss, if you call someone a douchebag or an asshole, they might not even care. But if you shame them, they really fucking hate it. And
Yes.
anyone who's ever had a really shit roommate who's had a bunch of boxes by the front door and they never moved them, and you keep going, come on, man, why don't you put these in storage? And like, I'm not getting around to it yet, whatever. If you ever go, you know what, I'm just going to move them and I'll take them to storage. You want to see?
Fine, I'll do it now.
You see the pissed off? That gets them pissed off.
Right.
When you start doing stuff for them that they should have done that was easy. The guys who quit here after I told them to clean their office 37 times, they weren't pissed until I came here on a Saturday and I cleaned their office, and then they got pissed.
Right.
But did they get pissed, or did someone just hold up a mirror to them and their ineptitude? When you shame someone, they get fucking angry. Like, you can call a woman you can call her bitch and worthless and a cocksucker piece of shit. You call her like a bad mom, and she thinks she'll go fucking nuts on you.
Makes sense.
That's how it works.
Well,
Shame.
he showed a mirror to the environmental agency and released a statement saying, after decades of ignoring rampant environmental crime on the roading, the Environment Agency has decided to finally act. But it's not against Thames Water for dumping billions of liters of sewage in the roading, or the waste criminals who have dumped thousands of tons of rubbish on its banks. It's a great British word. But against the River Roading Trust for restoring a river without a permit. The Environmental Agency responded, we deeply care about protecting the river roading.
Yes.
And will work with any partners who want to help improve the local environment. However, governance and expert advice is necessary to make sure that work does not cause unintended harm.
We need them. Yes.
They're being shamed.
Yes. I remember there was some story about some dock or stairs set out here in SoCal at the beach where it was like it went from the bike path 20 steps down to the beach, and it was decrepit and falling apart, whatever. And
somebody fixed it.
Some dude just fucking went, fuck it, I'll just fix this thing. And then, of course, the city got involved. Same thing people did with all the homelessness, like sleeping in front of their businesses and the restaurants.
Bringing out big planters
potted
and
plants.
boxes, yeah.
It's like, look, city, if you're not going to do the job, eventually people will do the job for you, and then it's your job to apologize to them and possibly reimburse them, but not get angry at them.
Right. It's just all backwards, especially people who, this is the environmental agency. These are people who should actually care about this stuff. How about you just say thanks and move on?
Yes. You will, it's kind of weird, but you should know. You got one more?
Yeah, there's more hospice fraud update. By the way, federal authorities have now suspended Medicare payments to 1,000 people in the first half of the year. 800 of those people are from California.
Oh, yeah.
Federal agents pounced on a slew of alleged medical fraudsters accused of massive schemes in Los Angeles, including a $27 million scheme to steal the identities of dead people as a part of a national takedown. Acting Attorney General Todd Blanche in Washington, D.C. said they've arrested 5 people accused of stealing millions. One guy had a $530,000 Rolls-Royce Phantom.
Yeah, this is at the point where I don't, let's put it to you this way. I don't think it's 10%. I don't think it's 20%. I think it's 40% of all these government-sponsored whatever. I think it's all grift. Here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say half of it is just people flat out stealing, and then 40% of what's left of the half is just people that don't need it. And then there's a 10% of people who do need it. I'm not just going to say it's a bunch of Somalian pirates ripping us off with fake Social Security number. I'm just talking about able-bodied dudes who say their back hurts too much who are on disability.
Right.
Like, I'm just talking about the fucking people who are just taking advantage of a system that doesn't vet them. And we're going to have to get into it because this is the fucking future. And I have no idea other than shaming why the left doesn't cheer this on, but instead they fight it.
There's probably a very good percentage of people that if this was a little bit more difficult to do, just be like, you know what, that's too much effort. But there is criminal groups. In fact, I was reading a book by Don Winslow, great fiction writer. But all of his stuff is based in reality. And he's talking about how former members of the KGB in the fall when the Soviet Union fell came over here to America, and their job was to defraud the government in as many different schemes as they could and then send money back to the motherland.
Well,
so
you got to expect an attempt at defrauding the government. What you didn't expect is one side, meaning the Democrats, defending the folks who are defrauding it because those are votes, and that's a constituency now. And you got to expect people coming to this country, attempting to come to this country legally. What you didn't expect is one side, the Democrats, defending this because now they've become a voting bloc and a constituency. And that's the real problem. The real problem isn't what these people are trying to do. That's always existed.
Sure.
The problem is if you're in a sanctuary city that's deep blue and run by Democrats, the people who are in charge of the chicken coop ain't guarding the chicken coop.
Exactly. Or they're stealing the eggs that they can.
They're de facto stealing the eggs, going, you guys steal, I'll turn a blind eye, you vote for me, and we'll all get rich together. And I'll have culpable deniability, which is you guys won't get busted. I'm not going to go in and take money from a hospice. I'll let you take money from a hospice, and you guys all vote for me.
Right.
And then I'll make my money in other ways. Because somehow the people that have a salary of $171,000 a year have a net worth of $86 million. Yeah. So that'll work. You got one more?
One woman here submitted nearly $270 million in bogus Medi-Cal claims.
Right.
$270 million.
Right. But if you're in California and you want to buy 2 packets of Tylenol and not one, you'll get flagged.
Right. Right. If I want to get Claritin D,
yes,
I got to show my ID.
And if you want to buy 2, you're going to have to get a note from your doctor or whatever it is.
Right.
But if you want to do welfare fraud, you can do that in perpetuity times 200,000.
That did happen to me. I went to go get Claritin again because maybe I lost it or something. They told me, no,
Right.
We cannot sell this to you. You already have too much
Claritin.
Decongestant. Too much decongestant.
Right. So
in your
that is
house.
staunchly enforced.
Yes.
Claritin.
Yes.
Is staunchly enforced, but 20,000 examples of welfare fraud by one person. No problemo, Dawson.
Yeah.
That's where the problem lies, everyone.
And everybody in California is voting for. I honestly don't believe that we really voted for this. I think they just counted enough votes that they need to increase sales tax on us again. And it's like, can we just get our effing house in order? Can we stop throwing money away or getting it
if
scammed?
we can get Ellin to give us some money, then we could straighten this out,
True,
Dawson.
That's true.
Come on now.
Everybody's got a light inside of them. It's got to shine.
Right. All right. This Saturday, Carson City. That is Saturday. 2 shows at the Nugget. Me and Mr. Saturday Night. Andrew going to be up on stage.
Nice.
We're getting casino bucks, bro. Thursday going to be the 9th, July, going to be in Vegas. 3 shows, actually 3 days, 2 shows a night. You go to amcro.com for all the live shows. What do you got, Dawson?
On the 25th of June, I'm at the Aliante Casino and Resort in Las Vegas with Rich Voss, Jim Florentine, and Don Jameson. Follow me at Dos Angeles for all the information.
So, until next time, Adam Crawford, Doug Ellin, and Dawson saying mahalo.